Good morning, everyone. It's Brenda Quintana. Make sure I have my volume on. That's always a scary thought. Do I have my microphone on? Um, Good morning, and I hope you are having a good start to your Tuesday morning. Today is Casing Tuesday, and that's the day when we take a card out of a current Stampin' Up catalog and we give it a makeover, a change up, or you can copy it exactly as is. It's a really good exercise for beginner stampers because you have a starting point. It's good for me because I have a certain style that I like, and it helps me be a little bit more creative because the cards that we're copying aren't always my own selections, so they're different styles. So it really helps me to try different styles or try different things on my cards. And I love it because we can all join on the Facebook group and share our cards. So yeah, so you can join our group if you aren't already a member. Check in the description of this video and there is a link to that so that you can join us over there. So today I am using a bundle I haven't used before, Kangaroo and Company. When I saw it, I just absolutely loved it, and I love, you know me, I love cute animal things. So if there's a cute animal, generally I'm going to be buying it because I don't know, it just speaks to me, and I love cute things. So I had to get this bundle. So I hope you will enjoy today's card. And good morning to everyone who's joining me. Betty and Dee and Amy is here, and thank you, Betty, for sharing my video. So, well, what can I say? Today is a bright, sunshiny day here. They said we're supposed to get snow, but I'm not sure if we will get snow here in Newton. So hopefully we'll continue just to have a really bright, sunshiny day, and I hope it's a nice day for you too. So let's get started. Let me show you the card I'm going to make. Oh, and the card that's on my blog this morning, I thought we would change it up a little bit because I thought we could make it into a Valentine's Day card. When I first got Kangaroo and Company, I had Valentine's Day in mind for it. But then as I was creating the card, I made a baby card instead. So let's see what we can do with it and turn it into a Valentine's Day card so you can see two different versions. All right, let's zoom in on my card here. So this is my card today, and isn't it cute? I just love this. I used, oh shoot, where did I stick it? I'm trying to see. Oh, I'm just going to tell you what paper I used. The supplies are all on my blog, which is a link. I used the Playing with Patterns paper. This paper is from the annual catalog. This card will work really well for any type of a paper. You know what? Let me just come back up 1 second. Let me back up. Let me show you today's card, which I didn't even show you. This is today's card. I really love the layout of today's card because it's a really easy layout. Okay, we've got some background paper, and then we've got a focal point layer, and it's nice and big and kind of tall and skinny, so we can get different images on there. So here is the layout. Very simple, very easy, and I think a lot of you will like this layout because it's very, very straightforward. Okay. Now let me go back to my card. Okay, so I just took that same layout and I moved my layer over to the other side because I tend to like my if I have an animal, I tend to have it looking into the card rather than out of the card, because if I had stuck it to this corner over here, it would have looked like it was kind of looking out of the card rather into the center of the card. I don't know if that's the best way to describe it, but if an animal or a head is turned in this direction, I will always tend to put it on the right side of the card, and if it's facing into the left or the right, I'll put it on the left side of the card. I don't know why. I'm weird about that, so I just moved that little layer over. But the cool thing about this Kangaroo is that it cuts, when you cut this die, there's a little cut right there. And so you can take another little image and you can like make a little pull out. And so this little kangaroo, you can attach a little greeting. So it says, "Hello, baby, it's your day." And then you can just tuck this back inside the little pouch. And I think that's just really, really adorable. So this, I love this kangaroo set. Okay, so the Kangaroo Company Bundle comes with a stamp set and dies, and when you buy them together, you save 10%. You can also buy them separately, but pretty much I probably wouldn't buy the die set on its own because you really need the images to match with it. You might get the stamp set on its own, but you probably wouldn't get the die set on its own. You really kind of need them to work together. All right, so we're going to be making a Valentine's Day card instead today, instead of my baby card, which is right here. So let's start off by using basic gray ink. It's a dark ink, but it's water-based, so it will work with our Stampin' blends. You don't want to use Stays On with this card. You definitely want to use a water-based ink with your Stampin' blends. So I'm just going to start by inking up my Kangaroo. Ink, 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 ink. And let me stamp the Kangaroo. Uh-oh. You know, look at that paw down there. I didn't ink it very well. I'm going to do this again. Yeah, I could do the back side, but you know what? I really hate doing the back side. I'm such a weirdo when I stamp. I hate stamping on the back side even when I make a mistake because it just, I don't know, it just kind of seems wrong to me to have that image on the back when you die cut it later. It just kind of doesn't make me happy. Okay, so now let me stamp that. Okay, that's a better image. I'm going to need the hearts because I'm going to be doing hearts in the pouch. So let me ink that up. Let me just put that somewhere on here. I'm going to stamp a second one just in case I make a mistake with cutting it out. Oh, and then, oh, I know what I need. So when we do the die cutting, we're also going to cut out this little piece, but I don't need to stamp it. So let me grab the ones that I need. These are the dies that I need. Oh, and now I've got ink on my fingers. Okay, let me move this aside. Let me grab a tissue. Let me un-ink my finger. And now let me grab my Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine. And I'm going to put it on here. We'll do the Kangaroo first. You can theoretically cut more than one die at a time, but since this isn't on a magnetic plate, I'd rather just focus on one image at a time and get that right before I move on to the next one. I'm just making sure that that one looks good in the window. And then I'm going to run it through. You can pin things down with painter's tape too. I usually don't, but you can if you were worried about shifting. Okay, so there is the Kangaroo. And then I need to cut out my little hearts. So let me surround the hearts with that little die. Okay. Pin this down and run it through. And then we just have to do one more cut which I just need this in Whisper White. It doesn't have to be in a particular spot. I just need a little Whisper White piece of that. That's going to be the piece that goes into the pocket. All right. Let me set those aside. Okay. I like to die cut first before I color, just in case I make a mistake with die cutting, then you haven't spent all that time coloring. So we'll start off by coloring the kangaroo, and I'm using gray granite, and I'm just going to use the light, and I'll just start adding color to the whole body, except I'm going to omit the pocket and the belly and keep that white. That also means that I don't have to color as much area, so that's a good thing if you're in a time crunch. But you could also use like a lighter color on the belly if you wanted to, make the belly light and then use a darker color. I'll go ahead and go on the head. I'm going to go around the outside of the ears. I'll leave the center a little bit blank. Okay, so I think I've covered the entire body. And then I can come in with my dark gray granite and add some shading. Just in the areas where there's like some lines. Add a little bit of shading like under the neck maybe. I'll hit the nose, make it darker. And blend a little bit, because I kind of did an awkward line around here. Just blend with the lighter color. Blend out. All right. Okay, and then I'll come in, this is Petal Pink Dark, and I'll just do the inner ears a little bit, just to give it a little bit of contrast. And that is all I did for the kangaroo. And then I'll color my hearts. And for that, I'm using light and real red, light, and dark. So I'll just start, I'm going to alternate a little bit with coloring different hearts in the light and then other hearts in the dark. So just kind of skip a few, just so there's a little bit of contrast. Yeah. And then I'll do the rest in the dark. It's going to be a very subtle difference, but a difference nonetheless. And I'm using the bullet tip because these are small areas. So I kind of create a Valentine's feel for the kangaroo instead of a baby card. And I like, for Valentine's Day, I do like to use cute little animals because I feel like you can kind of give that, well, I would give it more to a friend, rather than like my husband or something like that, because the other ones, the fancier ones, they're kind of a little bit more lovey-dovey, and I kind of like the cute factor for friend Valentines. So now we have this little piece down here, and I'm going to use Love You Much, and here's my ink pad again. So with this stamp, it's really, really tiny. So when you're stamping a really tiny stamp, especially a greeting stamp, you're going to practice, okay? You want to make sure it's inked well, use a light touch, and then I rock it just a little bit to make sure all the corners are inked up. if you smoosh it too hard, it's gonna smoosh, you know? So it might not look as good as you want. Let me just, do I still have, I have no part of my sponge that is still, my chamois. It's dry. I didn't wet it this morning, so I'm taking a little bit of the ink off because I kind of smushed the stamp. So now I'm just going to do this again, very light touch, and I'll try and get this down close to the bottom. Just give it a little rock. And so you want it as close to the bottom as possible because I have to glue a little piece of this onto here. So if it's up too high, it's going to get covered by whatever comes on top. Okay, so now I need some Tombow, and I'm just going to take my hearts, and this little heart that sticks out here at the bottom, I'm just going to put a little bit of Tombow right on that bottom heart, and then I'm going to align it on there. And then you really want to just press it down for a second because there's only a tiny bit of glue that is holding those two pieces together, and you just want to make sure that you've got a good bond between the glue and the paper. Okay, so that's what this little piece looks like. And then we got our kangaroo and the pouch. I don't know if you can see, but it just opens up a little bit. And so you're going to stick your Love You Much inside of there. Now you can see right here, it follows the line of the belly. So you don't want to stick it down too far. Otherwise, it's going to be like hanging out down below. But you can rotate it a little bit towards the back of the kangaroo, and then you can get a little bit more of a tuck going on there. So I like to have this piece inside of here before I glue this down to the piece where I'm going to where I'm going to glue this piece onto. I want to have this piece sticking in here. As a reminder, I cannot put Tombow right there because otherwise I have glued my piece into my kangaroo and it will never come out. Okay, so now I decided to go with a Pool Party card base. And so this is 11 by 4 1/4 and scored in half at the 5.5 inch mark. I am using some of that Snail Mail Designer Series paper. This piece measures 3 3/4 inches by 5.5 inches. And look at this bright side of the paper. I debated whether or not to go bright and do this, but I thought it was too bright. And this is my little Whisper White piece, which measures 2 3/4 by 4 inches. So I can add this on here. Maybe for some people this would be okay. I don't know. Tell me what you think. Do you like this side of the paper better? The yellow side? Or do you like kind of the more neutral side? Let me put this on here. Whatever you decide, I will do. This is kind of a more neutral. I originally thought I would do the more neutral side. I thought the yellow was a little too busy. What do you think? Do we go with the yellow side, like that? Or do we go kind of neutrals with a very basic pattern? It's got kind of a, like a postage stamp kind of look. And we'll do like that. So let me know what you think. Janine says she likes the yellow. Oh my gosh, everyone's liking the yellow. You know, I think I have yellow issues. I think I do. I have trouble with the color yellow. For some reason, I'm scared of yellow. So I will do the yellow side. I think I've got Okay, I've got 3 yellows. I am going to do the yellow side. I'm going to need therapy after this. All right, let's do the yellow side. Okay. It does look more whimsical. It is a lot brighter. A lot brighter. Okay, let's do... The snail mail paper is really pretty. It's like perfect for Valentine's Day. It's got that whimsical feel. Okay, I've glued down the yellow side. Now you better like it once it's done. All right, so I've got my little kangaroo on here. And before I glue him down, I'm going to stamp one more greeting. And I want to use this greeting. It says, hopping by just to say hi. And let me grab. Okay, I do like the yellow side. I think maybe I was playing it safe with the other side. All right, so same with this greeting stamp. You want to go light with it. You don't want to smush it down too hard. Okay. And then I've got the kangaroo kind of way up high because I want to add some ribbon. And why don't I tie the ribbon on first? I cut a piece of ribbon and I didn't use it, so let's see if this one fits around here. This is the Pool Party sheer ribbon. Ooh, it's gonna be really tight. We'll see if I can tie this, and if not, I'll just grab another one. Yeah, I'm gonna need my locking tweezers for this because we'll see if my fingers can handle tying such a tiny, tiny little knot. Come on. I hate wasting ribbon, but sometimes, you know, in an experiment, I kind of like, I cut a piece and then I don't use it. And so I don't know if this one's gonna work. Let's see if I can get it around. Okay. It's gonna look a little ragged because the sheer ribbon, when you pull it, the ends get a little, oh, that's not too bad. Okay, I managed not to waste that little piece of ribbon. Now I'm gonna scooch this down. I tried to do a bow right here, but it's very hard to do a nice bow when you're tying it around a piece of ribbon. I know some people can do it, but I'm not really good at that. So I am just gonna move that down. And let's see, make sure I have enough room for my kangaroo. Okay, so now when I'm gluing this kangaroo, I have to be kind of careful. So I can put glue on the ears and the head and the neck. Don't put any on the flowers. I'm gonna put some on the back of the kangaroo, come down, leaving enough of an area around that little tab that gets tucked in. And I'll do the feet, but I'm not gonna do any on the belly at all. And I'll do the tail, okay? So just avoid that underbelly area. Anything underneath that cut line, that has to be avoided. You wanna give it enough room so that it can gape a little bit while it is coming in and out. And I'm just gonna make sure it looks centered. I'm gonna stand up, give it a bird's eye view before I push it down. Okay, aw, that looks so cute, doesn't it? All right, and then I'm going to add this over here. Put Tombow on the back of here, a little bit under here. And then I'm going to adhere this about 3/8 of an inch from the side of the paper, that yellow paper, and 3/8 of an inch from the bottom. Okay. Scooch it over just a bit. Okay. I think that's straight. Press it down. So I don't know, I was gonna see if these resin hearts would fit on here because I wanted to add a few onto here. So let's have a look and see what they look like. Because on my other card, I threw on a few of these sequins, but I didn't think the sequins would look like they're not really what I need for this card. So let me pull this out and let me grab this. Let's see, maybe, should I do white hearts? Let me do, come here, little white heart. Okay, you're sticking to my finger, little white heart. Maybe I should do red hearts. I'll do a white heart up here. And a red heart down here. Yeah, I think I'm just gonna do two hearts, a white heart and a red heart. On there like that. That's it. I don't want to add any others. I don't know why, I usually do threes, but today I'm doing twos. Okay, so, oh, I also wanted to do the inside for this one. Oh, and I did the inside for the other one. I'll show you. So what I did was I took a piece that was the same size as my designer series paper piece. So it's 3 3/4 by 5.5. And I took my hearts and I stamped them along the bottom as close as possible. And then there's one other little heart that comes in this collection, and I went in and I filled in the gaps at the bottom. I filled in a couple of hearts to create that kind of look of the hearts down at the bottom. I could show you how I did that just for interest's sake. So I'm not gonna do it and color it, but just so you get an idea of how to do it. This piece is wider than the one I'm using, but just for interest's sake, you just take your hearts and you kind of stamp. You kind of go off the edge a bit. You kind of stamp them in a row. Okay, so you kind of get the idea. There is like a little bit of a bald spot there in between, so I just took the little heart and I just kind of added it in there so it looked like it had kind of more of a, it went all the way down to the bottom. So that's how I created, oops, sorry, I just banged on my stand. That's how I created that bottom portion. And then I just randomly colored in some hearts with my Real Red Stampin' Blends. And so then I can just add this to the inside of my piece. Just to, you know, add a little something to the inside. I don't always do my insides, and I should. It's kind of fun to do it, but sometimes I'm just in such a rush that I forget that, like, maybe I could have like done something special on the envelope or okay, so I'll just add that into the card. And see, that's a nice little area to fill in, and it kind of has the same feel as the front because we've got the designer series paper and then we've got a little bit of that, and it also helps fill up the space a little bit so that it's not, you don't have this huge space to write in, because if you know me well, I finish the card and then I don't know what to say. So I'm not as good at writing as I am at making the card. So I really don't want a ton of space to write. Okay, and then for this card here, move this out of the way. What I did is I took some scraps off of this was a 6x6 piece of paper, and I had some leftover scraps from that 6x6 piece. So I cut some little lines. These are about, they're 4 1/4 by 1/2 inch wide, and I just added them to the inside. And then I stamped the extra kangaroo on the inside and the bottom. So this is a baby card, then you just have a little bit less space to write, but I think it adds a nice little touch to it. So what do you think? My very yellow card, guys. You made me make a yellow card. Therapy will be needed this afternoon for the yellow card. What do you think? Do you like the baby card or the Valentine's card better? I think they're both cute, and they're both for different occasions, different paper, different look. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed that. Oh, and then just so you know, this little heart should be able to pull out and say "love you much." You can pull it out all the way. Um, I'll just show you, and then it does fit back in, and I have enough room here so you can lift up, the belly a bit if you need to kind of get in there and feed it back in. That's why you don't glue down any portion of that belly, because you want to have some flexibility to help get that little thing back inside. So I really like the design of the kangaroo die. It's not complicated at all. It's just a really easy way to put things on the inside, right? It's not a difficult die. Like sometimes when they do die cuts, they make it more complex than it needs to be, and that one's just a really easy, straightforward one that you can use. All right. I'm going to go back and read some of your comments. Good morning, Joanne. And Janine and Holly. Dee says, you always create such cute cards with cute animal stems and dice. Yeah, you know what? You have to do what you love. And I know some of you like the different types of stamps. You have to choose what sings to your heart, right? Like what speaks to it. And that's when you'll be more involved, and you'll really want to use your stamps. Not all people love the cute animal stuff. I guess I kind of like to laugh. I like jokes, and I like laughing, and cute cartoon animals make me smile. I don't know, I've probably mentioned before, one of my favorite card makers growing up, before I really knew that people made cards, was Sandra Boynton. She was also the author of some really cute children's books, little board books and stuff, and I loved her cards, and I still do. Like she's still, like I've liked her Facebook page and stuff, so I occasionally get some of her artwork through my feed, and it just still to this day makes me smile. Her little punny jokes and stuff. It just that makes me very happy. So when I see that, I think it brings me back. I was a teenager, and used to send my friends cards with Sandra Boynton on it. And the other cool thing with Sandra Boynton is she had, I think, things on her envelopes as well, like, a little, image or something on the side of her envelope. So she was like a cool card maker even before I knew that people made cards for a hobby. Okay. So I did the yellow. Oh, everyone wanted the yellow. Whoa. Oh, Marie wanted the neutral side. Marie said, what about coloring in a couple of the blocks? Yeah, that would have been a good way to add some pops of color. That's a good idea. If I remake the card, I like your suggestion a lot. Janine said, I said before I had yellow issues. Yeah, I do. Every time I see yellow, I kind of back away from it. It's a hard color for me to work with. And then I think orange is my second hardest color to work with. I don't know why. I can do little pops of yellow, but whenever yellow is like one of the main colors, it's just like, it's very, very difficult. Betty says she loves the sheer ribbon. The sheer ribbon is great because guess what? It worked even on this card. Just the color isn't overwhelming. It just picks up a little bit of the pool party in the background. And I've always loved pool party with real red. I do like that color combo a lot. Good morning, Mary. Yeah, I had to throw some hearts on there. Good morning. I don't know if it's Jean or Jeanne, but I like the way you spell your name. Dee says she really likes the bottom of the inside with the hearts. Yeah, it's not, it wasn't too hard to do, right? You know, just to add that. And I didn't color them all in, because if I had colored them all in, it would have taken a long time. But just by coloring in some of them, it gave it a little pop of color without making me have to color in a zillion little hearts. So, all right. Dee says I'm stepping outside the box with the yellow. I know that's what this challenge does. I have to step out of my comfort zone. Dee says, could you add a piece of ribbon to the back of the pull out and attach it to the inside of the kangaroo belly on the back side so it could pull up but not pull completely out or maybe get lost? Yeah, you probably could do that. You would have to like take this and maybe take like one of those what do they call them, a hobby blade, and I would put this down on one of those self-healing mats, and then I would follow the line of the belly, and then you theoretically could have a piece of ribbon float all the way inside the card to the back. But I think, you know, honestly, I think just keeping it really simple. I mean, the piece may get lost if someone isn't careful, but these cards aren't generally meant to be kept forever. So, you know, guess what? If we lose the hearts, the card still looks cute. It doesn't look bad. Even the Hello Baby one that I did, if you lose the baby, you still have the one on the inside, so it still kind of makes sense. So I don't think I'm too worried about that. Sometimes, like, I do make things complicated, but I think for this card and this die, I want to keep things so they're like simple. So, you know, this is definitely something that I'm trying to get my little hearts back in, something that everyone could do. Like, it's definitely a card that everyone can do, and we don't have to worry about, you know, it being like perfect at all. All right. Oh, my video locked up. I'm sorry. Well, I hope it finished recording. Okay. And just a reminder, it is January 2021 and celebration is going on. So right now, if you place an order and in increments of $50 or $100, you are going to be able to choose a celebration reward. If you are over on my blog, pop on over there. That top banner is a clickable banner, and it will take you over to my celebration blog post and tell you the different rewards that you can choose from. Let me see what else. I told you can join my Facebook group. All the supplies that I used today are over on my blog. I have a January tutorial that I put out a new tutorial every month, and this month it is a Rolo's heart. You'll be able to see that over on my blog as well. Anytime you place an order with me, and if it's at least $15 or more, you can choose one of my tutorials. You don't have to choose this month's tutorial, but you can. And then also, if you spend $75 with me this month, you will receive some pastel pearls from me next month in February. I mail them all out in a big batch, so they'll be mailed out in February. And don't forget to join me on Friday. I will be over on YouTube at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, and I will have a 3D project for you that I will be demonstrating. So make sure you check that out. And so I hope you guys have a great week, and I will see you soon. Take care. Bye-bye.